What's up, everyone? So, NBA columnist John Hollinger explains why the Trailblazers and the Wizards may regret giving their stars the max deal. It could, he's quoted as saying, it could mark as a regrettable turning point for their franchise's timeline. So, in this video, we're going to be talking about Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal. So, Damian Lillard signed a 2-year, $122 million max extension, guaranteeing him north of like $60 million per year, and Bradley Beal that insane 5-year, $250 million contract extension. So let's just talk about this. In Portland, Oregon, fans rejoiced after seeing the news of Dame Lillard, Dame Dollars, 2-year, $122 million extension this week. So I mentioned this. So this is there's a video that I made earlier last week, mentioning, not even earlier last week, like about 2 weeks ago, if I can remember correctly. I mentioned that the Portland Trailblazers were set to give Damian Lillard like a 2-year contract worth north of 100 million, and it did happen. And now he's getting all that money. Then the same thing happened. I mentioned about Bradley Beal. He opted out of that 35 million, and I was actually hoping to see him join a contender for like 150 million, but he ended up re-signing. He opted out. He's opting out. I actually thought that he was going to sign with a new team, but apparently he chose to stay with the Washington Wizards. So the same can be said with the Wizards, who recently agreed in terms of a supermax contract with Bradley Beal. On the surface, it looks great for both teams, but in an article, John Hollinger of the Bleacher Report questioned the moves and explained why both teams could come to regret bringing back their stars on such huge and ridiculous deals. So let's talk about this. So when it comes to superstar contract talks, some teams negotiate and others capitulate. So the difference in the implications of their franchise couldn't be more profound, as we've seen in the last week, especially most notably the Portland Trailblazers and the Washington Wizards, who could mark a regrettable turning point in their franchise's timeline. So he continued on in saying, you might not have noticed it in the wake of the mind-gobbling sums of money in the headlines, but an important thing happened in their 193 million max extensions for both Zion Williamson and Ja Morant. They did not contain 50-year player options. A similar thing happened about a year ago with the Brooklyn Nets extension to Kevin Durant. So they didn't have any 50-year player options. So that was actually a good note to see. It goes on contrast those deals, the recent case of Bradley Beal and Dame Dollar. So when it almost felt like the teams handed over pens and let the players fill in whatever, and the difference became obvious. So I mean, they just they just give out. So I just feel like these teams just sign. I feel like these teams just give out the contract and just tell these players, just write the price that you want, and we just keep you there. So it's the difference between negotiating from mutual benefit and total surrender. And honestly, I couldn't agree more, because I feel like the the Portland Trailblazers, Damian Lillard has that his stance with the Blazers. He just has them hostage. He can dictate whatever he wants. They have to give it to him. And also Bradley Beal, because if Bradley Beal works, Washington and Portland, they are not free agency destinations. I don't expect a team to those type of teams to attract anyone. The only time they can get like star players is through the draft, or through forcing a trade or something. So yeah, alas, the Blazers and Wizards are still learning that lesson. It's been clear the best pathway forward for each team could be to trade their all-star guards for Rudy Gobert-esque hauls of players and picks. While Lillard and Beal are capable of playing for many years, they are likely at the tail end of their peak season. So he went on and just said that. So Bradley Beal and Damian Lillard are both great high-impact players. Nobody is arguing otherwise, but at 29 and 31 years respectively, Bradley Beal 29, Damian Lillard 31, both players are closer to the end of their prime than the beginning. So when you hit 30, 31, your stock, kind of, dips because, you're facing players who have been drafted at age 18, 19, 20. So they're going to outpace you on the court and also money wise. So, yeah, plus with very little success over the past few years, the Blazers and Wizards clearly need to do more if they want to win when it counts the most. So you can see the Blazers, they traded away CJ McCollum. They broke apart that duo, went on a full-on rebuild with Dame Dollar. Dame Dollar doesn't want to go. He signed that extension. So Bradley Beal didn't want to leave. He wants to stay there and enjoy the money at the cost of, piling on 5 more years on his prime. And by the time he's 36, nobody will want him anymore. So the only way for these teams to truly stick to it, the only way for these teams to truly stick to the hit as if they build the best team possible and make the run quickly so that they can please their fans. So that's just the end. That's the end of the article by Fadeaway World. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on it. I feel like both of these players don't want to win the championship. They are okay just cashing out. They know their window is already closed. A guy like Dame Dollar, he's not going to win a championship. Let me just tell you that. He's not going to bring a ring to Portland. Bradley Beal, it was heavily rumored he was going to leave, but the report said otherwise because he just signed that 5-year, $250 million contract extension. So he's not going anywhere. And I feel like both of these players have held their franchises. They have held them hostage. The franchises do have to do whatever they do to please them, because when they walk, it's a massive hit to the team because they'll be tanking and they won't be able to even, they'll just be a lottery pick teams. And getting talents like those, like Damian Lillard, is once in a lifetime. So they just have to bend and cave into their demands, and also Bradley Beal, especially considering the fact that when you let a guy like Bradley Beal walk, it'll leave a very huge hole, and the process of rebuilding is very strenuous. So I feel like both of these players have shown they do not want to win the championship, just want to cash out and just see if they can get the money and just walk, and that's it. So these players should not complain that when Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors are going to win championships, when LeBron is still competing for championships, and all these other contenders from the West and also the East, coming from the East, they're trying to find a way to win a championship. They shouldn't complain and feel bad for their sorry franchises, especially when they're on losing streaks. I shouldn't see anyone saying free Dame, free Beal. No, they are the ones who designed this situation and they're sticking to it. So I expect more years wasted and more money they'll earn in their accounts. So they're just wasting their primes there. So they should have just left those franchises and gone to contenders. Yeah, so that's all I had to say about that. I saw this report. I just want to give my 2 cents on it, and yeah, man, I'm out. I'm gonna see you in the next upload.